Hey everyone, this is Rob from ProWresBlog. Today we got a review of WWE Friday Night Smackdown for August 30th, 2013. The show started out with Miz TV with Dolph, Big Show, Miz, of course, and Triple H. Basically, the faces were too afraid to do anything, and Triple H made different matches for him that played out throughout the night. The segment went at least 13 minutes long and was way too long. The big thing that was made here was the Big Show. He'd have to sit at ringside throughout the whole night and watch pretty much everything that happened. Triple H also made The Shield versus Dolph Ziggler and The Miz versus Randy Orton, which started immediately after this segment. Alright, for the WWE title, we had Randy Orton versus The Miz. This wasn't real great. It was just a ton of headlocks and rest holds and just slow wrestling. The best thing about this was Miz putting on the figure four, which really brought the crowd alive. But of course, that's when exactly the match ended, as Orton hit a completely random RKO with really nothing behind it at all to win the match. The Shield attacked after, and Daniel Bryan came to clear him out. We then had a really stupid segment with Vicky Guerrero and Daniel Bryan. Vicky wasn't happy that Daniel Bryan got involved earlier, and she said this: "You know what you were out there? You were a bully. You bullied Orton in the Shield. In my world, he who bullies gets bullied back." Okay, that makes no sense at all. WWE is all into this anti-bullying thing, and they're basically saying right here that it's okay to bully back when someone bullies you. So, be a star, everyone, by bullying, by not bullying, and by getting bullied. So, if you can make any sense of this, feel free. Ryback then jumped in, and, he made a short joke, and that was it. Vicky signed, apparently, Daniel Bryan versus Ryback in this, but they didn't really clearly state that, and kind of had to read between the lines. Ricardo came out, and he did a pretty good intro for RVD. It's really different than the one he's been doing lately. And I say check it out. It sounded pretty cool, and, it was something different at least. We next had RVD versus Damien Sandow. This was all squash. RVD got most of the offense in, and he was really moving here. Like, he was just going boom, 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 from spot to spot. And Damien Sandow ended up losing quick with a 5-star frog splash. After the match, Alberto came out. He said RVD is only getting a title shot because Ricardo betrayed him and the Latino people. And mostly he talked in Spanish, and since I don't really speak good Spanish, I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I think that's going to be the problem for most of the audience. Next up, we had The Shield versus Dolph Ziggler. Reigns got the win with a really great spear that you should check out. But other than that, this was all a squash, and it didn't have nothing to it. I didn't mention this earlier, but during the Miz's match with Randy Orton, they did a ton of cutaways to the Big Show, and they did the same thing here. I mean, there was more focus on the Big Show's face than pretty much the match, which, I guess it doesn't matter since the match stunk anyway. The Shield hit the triple powerbomb on Dolph Ziggler to end the segment. Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman came out. Axel said Paul showed a lot of courage in beating CM Punk with a stick on Monday. And Paul made a good point saying that, Punk was going to beat him up, but instead he beat him up. And it made sense. Why should Paul take the whooping? And that's what he said. Paul said Punk should still worship him. And then Paul made a good point. He said he was afraid of the upcoming match because he knew he'd get his butt beat if Punk got his hands on him. But Paul said to watch out, though, because he was scared Monday, and he's going to be scared at Night of the Champions. But the thing is, on Monday, he took care of Punk, and this time, he's going to be face-to-face with him at Night of Champions, so he can't run away. So Punk should watch out, because he could really be ugly and deadly then. I really liked the segment. I thought it was pretty good, and I thought Paul Heyman's justifications and explanations were quite good here. We next got Tons of Funk versus the Wyatt family. This was your usual very quick squash. Rowan got a splash in, and Luke Harper was the big highlight here. He had a nice lariat and a big boot. Of course, Tensai got laid out after. Believe it or not, we're coming to the main event next. It was Daniel Bryan versus Ryback. Daniel Bryan ended up beating Ryback by DQ when Orton ran in. The crowd really liked this one, but I didn't think it was that good. Daniel Bryan was okay, and Ryback was fine. But the problem was, Daniel Bryan made his comeback really quick, and he ended up getting a ton in. And, it really shouldn't work that way. Daniel Bryan should probably take the beating in these types of matches, and he really didn't. So I didn't think it was that great. The thing here, though, was that they cut away to the Big Show like 100 times, especially with what happened next when Orton ran in and when the Shield came in too. You know, they all beat up Daniel Bryan. They just kept cutting away to the Big Show, you know, every second. I mean, there was more focus on the Big Show than the actual match. And then that's when things got pretty bad. The Shield and Orton beat up Daniel Bryan, and Big Show finally jumped in the ring to finally, you know, stand up for all these bullies and do something. And Triple H ran down and told him to stop it. Big Show made tons of crying faces, and he really looked like a giant wuss. The crowd chanted for him to do something and was really hoping he would, and he just didn't. He just stood there and he kind of cried, and he just walked off. Yeah, I mean, it didn't work. What I really didn't like about it is that, you know, I just can't buy this whole angle. You know, the Big Show's rich. He doesn't really need this job. You know, I mean, he could never work again, and he's still going to be better off than pretty much everybody else in the world. So, I mean, I don't really get the deal why it's so bad that, you know, he gets fired or something. I mean, he's the Big Show. He's rich. You know, and they talked about him needing to feed his family. I mean, if the $5 million or so he doesn't have in the bank can't feed his family, then I don't know what's up. After this whole thing, the Shield and Orton beat up Daniel Bryan some more, and Orton spray-painted "No" onto Daniel Bryan to close the show. Alright, overall thoughts. I hated the show. I thought it was pretty bad. The whole episode revolved around the Big Show making goofy faces into the camera for 2 hours, and it wasn't entertaining. Also, the matches really weren't that good. They were all squashes, and they mostly had really bad finishes. And I just thought it was a really lazy night. I mean, nothing really interesting happened. The Big Show looked like the biggest wuss ever and really killed whatever credibility he had. And, yeah, I wasn't feeling this one. I'm glad it's over with, and I really urge everybody to not check this one out. You did not miss anything, and if you didn't watch it, good call. Alright, everyone, for a review of the show, check out www.ProWresBlog.blogspot.com. I just did Smackdown, and later tonight or maybe tomorrow, I'll have WWE Superstars up, and I'll have Ring of Honor TV up for this week. Be doing reviews of both of those. Maybe there's audio, maybe not. Alright, well, thank you for listening, and feel free to come visit my site and leave me a comment. Thank you.